Brian, it's such a pleasure to see you again. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Tony. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm great. I get to talk with you and my gosh, just have a ball. First of all, congratulations on Boneyard. Wow, this is going into this, I was expecting something I've seen before and it is just a twisted tale.
Oh, thank you. It is. There's a lot of twists and turns. Sorry, my wife was just pulling the
It,
car out.
it's okay.
Uh, yeah, it's a really traditional like crime thriller, um, murder mystery it's inspired by true events and uh trying not to reveal too much about the film because I want everybody to go see it, but without giving too much of away. But so yeah, it's a traditional crime thriller that you're gonna get lots of twists and turns. It's Sif, our director, and did a fantastic job.
And boy, what a cast. I mean, is it intimidating knowing that Mel Gibson is sharing scenes with you?
Yeah, at first it was. I don't think I'd met Mel until our first day of working together. But what a nice guy. He made you feel comfortable right away, and it was a great pleasure to work with Mel. And he's such a he's a legend. He's an Academy Award winner. I actually learned a lot from Mel within the short time that we did get to spend together in the scenes that we were doing. I got to write uh, a couple scenes with him, which was a trip. It was surreal.
It must,
But
it
what an
must have
honor.
been, it must have been a joy.
It was we had a blast, and he's a funny, witty man. In between takes and even during our takes, he had us in stitches in the most awkward moments when it was perfect for the character and in the scenes. But yeah, he was a great pleasure to work with.
Yeah, Nora, I talked with Nora and she said the same thing. She said he's just so funny and yet he can turn it on and off and he amazed her in how deep he could go into a character.
Yeah, he goes deep, man. He's the real deal. And you said Nora. Nora's an amazing actress as well. I had such a good time working with Nora. She's a phenomenal actress too, and she brought a lot to the table.
Yeah,
She nailed
and part of the attraction for this movie to me is how the characters are all intertwined in this story. I mean, it really is a character study as well as a mystery thriller.
That's true. We all have our own personal investment, I'll say, and our own history with the case that we're trying to solve. It's personal to each of us for our individual reasons, which I can't really reveal for me anyway.
Yeah.
For my character, is because it's one of the a story plot point. Um, but it is. We each have our individual past journey history, but we need to work together, and we all come together. Sometimes we clash, maybe a lot, but we all have our own stuff that we're dealing with while we're trying to work together to solve this case.
Was that attractive to you? Obviously, it was because you took the part, but when you get a script, I would imagine a lot of the scripts that you get are the same character, but this is a totally different character than what you played in the past.
Oh yeah, thank you. Let's see. I love playing different characters and kind of getting out of my comfort zone. And I just got off the set. I worked on Bass Reeves for one episode. I literally left that set and came to this one, and I had long hair and a big beard and burly, and so I just decided to shave my head and dye it red and shave my beard and gain 20 pounds and like really dive in. But uh, the funny story about this is the writer Vincent McDaniel. I did a show called Deputy. We shot that in Albuquerque, and that's where I met him. He worked crafts. He was working for craft service, and we struck up a relationship. And he's like, "This isn't really what I do. I'm a writer, producer. I'm gonna be making films, and you're gonna work. We're gonna work together someday." This came up 3, 4 years later, and it was an immediate yes. Not only because I'm friends with the writer and it's a special kind of full circle story. It was just a great script in a character that, you know, has a really layer. He had a lot of layers. And you know, it was, and it's actually personal for me too. I come from a family full of cops. My uncle's a detective, so I'm partial.
Well,
Just,
you're honoring your uncle.
there you go. And I know my cousins too. I think my dad, he passed away, but my dad and I think we're the only ones in our family that weren't cops. I'm gonna. So,
When you take on roles, I imagine there's a certain amount of stress that goes with it, you know, in making sure your character is right, making sure you're, you know, you're doing all the right things. How do you relieve stress? I mean, is it exercise? Is it just being with your family?
a lot of booze. Yeah, I'm joking. How do I relieve stress on that? At this age, yes, gym, working out, meditation, sleep if you can. But I'd say working out and sitting, you know, meditating and if you can, jump in the ocean. We shot this in the desert, so that wasn't happening. But um, working out and health care is a good way to relieve stress. To
Are you
help
going to
relieve.
be stepping behind the camera more and more, producing, directing?
Working to it. I'm trying to lean more into that. Yes. Nothing set right now, but that is the goal
I
for
mean, you've
sure.
been doing this such a long time, and you've worked with some pretty great people to learn from. I would imagine that would be the next step.
Yeah, it is, you know, I think I might be a better director than I am an actor. I don't know, but I have it's very fulfilling and I enjoy it a lot. But I enjoy acting. I love making movies in general, you know, whether it's in front of the camera or behind it. I really love making movies.
As Boneyard rolls out and people start to, you know, take it in, what do you think they're going to take away from watching it?
That's a good question. I don't know, to be honest with you. You know, in a bigger picture, let's hope we can bring more attention to some of these unsolved cases, you know, out of respect for the victims and the victims' families. There's a lot of this, you know, this was inspired by true events. Some of them are unsolved. And let's hope it just can bring more awareness to the audience and the public that, you know, pay more attention to, you know, these unsolved cases and human trafficking and the you know, missing women and the treatment of women in general. It's just hopefully it can bring more attention and awareness to help solve these issues that we have.
At least put a magnifying glass on them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
hoping
agree
so.
with you wholeheartedly. I think also the missing indigenous women too that you never hear about. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds go missing every year.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, thank you for you just articulated what I tried to, but that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Um, it's yeah, bring attention to these missing women and victims that, you know, don't necessarily get the time and the attention.
Brian, before I go, are you an actor that likes watching himself on a big screen or do you hate it?
It's not very comfortable for me. No, I will do it to learn, but it's no, it was hard. It's hard. It's hard. You know,
I know I can't look at myself either.
it,
It's I cry. Um,
it's
but
like I gained 20 pounds for this film, and you know, it was hard to watch, but you know, I enjoy doing stuff like that. But sometimes you're like, whoa,
yeah.
who's that guy?
Well, let me tell you this before I go. I mean, I followed your career, and I think you're a hell of an actor. And did you start in stunts? Did you? I mean, how did you break into acting? Because you're very good at action stuff.
Thank you. I know I grew up playing sports and just you know, that kind of, you know, that I didn't start, you know, didn't start as an action. I started in comedy, to be honest with you. You know, um, and then yeah, but I've been very lucky. I've been very blessed to have the career that I've had, um, and yeah, and now I know if this acting thing doesn't work out, maybe I can do stunts.
Who knows? No, I would rather have you direct or
Oh, Yeah.
Do a romantic comedy. That would be a lot of fun.
I love that you said that. That's next. I'm trying to do a romantic comedy. I haven't really, never really done one, to
Well,
be
you
honest
should
with
write it and produce it. There.
you. I agree with, by the way, thank you. You know what? I will.
Okay.
I
I'll
will. And
start.
you'll be my,
I'll star in it as your brother.
please. Done.
I've already gained the 20 pounds I need to
Yeah.
be.
Dude, you already got the shaved head, so we're good.
I'm done. Yeah, Brian, such a great honor and pleasure to talk with you and get to know you. You're a hell of an actor, and I really do. I'm not blowing smoke. I just think you're in the right
Uh,
business.
thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for saying that.
You
I
take
really
care,
do.
brother.
All right, you too, man.